The sequestration deadline has come and gone, and the impacts are already being felt in San Diego. I'm Eric Anderson. The story tonight on KPBS Evening Edition. And 3 years after the murder of Chelsea King, her parents returned to San Diego, pushing for Chelsea's law to spread across the nation.
And I'm Peggy Pico. Do you know where your car has been over the last 2 years? Well, local law enforcement can tell you. Coming up, how license plate scanners work and the concern over privacy. Plus, hundreds of injured Marines from across the nation converge at Camp Pendleton this weekend for a chance to compete at the Warrior Games. My conversation with a coach and a competitor about the hidden benefits of the competition.
This is a Madagascar hissing cockroach, and he's just one of the little guys you're going to meet at Dr. Entomo's exhibit.
Arts reporter Beth Accomando introduces us to some creepy crawlies that have moved into the gnat. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Anderson in for Dwayne Brown. The deadline for a deal to avoid sequestration has come and gone. President Barack Obama still hasn't issued the order for $85 billion in federal spending cuts. He's putting that off as late as possible. In the meantime, we're learning more about how the Department of Homeland Security has been preparing for the cuts. The Associated Press reports more than 2,000 undocumented immigrants have already been released from immigration jails around the country, and another 3,000 are scheduled for release this month. That's a much higher number than the few hundred that officials were reporting earlier this week. AP says government documents show the release is happening here in California and in Arizona, Georgia, and Texas. Officials have said they're only releasing low-risk, non-criminal detainees who still face deportation. NASSCO may lay off hundreds of shipyard workers here in San Diego. The company says it's warning 375 local workers they could be laid off in April because of possible federal cuts. And San Diego's ship repair industry could lose 5,000 jobs.
We're talking about people who work with pipe, work with steel, work with aluminum, work with electrical cables. They have to clean tanks and paint and insulate. So these are all good, solid, high-paying jobs.
Today, President Obama met with congressional leaders from both parties, but they failed to reach a consensus on stopping those cuts.
This is not a win for anybody. This is a loss for the American people.
The House has laid out a plan to avoid the sequester. I would hope that the Senate would act.
You can find more of our continuing coverage of the sequestration battle on our website, kpbs.org/sequester. The father of murdered San Diego teen Chelsea King wants to make sure violent sex offenders stay off the streets of more states than just California. KPBS video journalist Katie Ufrat has more on an effort to bring Chelsea's law to Illinois and Texas. 3 years ago,
Brent King's 17-year-old daughter Chelsea went for a run and never came back. Registered sex offender John Gardner was later convicted of her rape and murder. He also admitted to killing Escondido teen Amber Dubois. Now, Gardner is in prison for life. King hopes violent sex offenders in Illinois and Texas will soon meet the same fate.
My goal is to have Chelsea's law in every state. At the end of the day, the real objective is a one-strike law that says if you harm a child, you're done. You go away for life. There doesn't need to be a second victim.
King and former assemblyman Nathan Fletcher have introduced legislation in both states that would extend the heart of Chelsea's law there: life imprisonment for those who commit certain violent sexual crimes against children. Fletcher authored the 2010 law named for Chelsea King.
We saw the legislature come together to solve a problem. Now we need to see that same legislative body come together to make sure it's properly implemented and enforced. But I think that same spirit will carry us through to other states.
A study conducted by the King family's nonprofit shows that more than 40 people in San Diego County have been charged under Chelsea's law. Hearings for the newly introduced legislation in Texas and Illinois are expected within a few months. And there are plans to introduce legislation in other states soon. Katie Ufrat, KPBS News.
A construction company executive was given 3 years probation in a bribery scandal that's rocking the Sweetwater Union High School District. Henry Abengable admitted giving gifts to school district officials to influence their decisions on construction contracts. His sentence includes community service. Several current and former Sweetwater officials have been indicted in that case. A former star basketball player for the University of San Diego will spend 6 months in federal prison. It's for his part in a game-fixing scheme. 26-year-old Brandon Johnson was USD's all-time leading scorer. He says he never threw away any games himself, but admitted to trying to get another player to join that scheme. Just when you thought election season was over, candidates are gearing up for a seat on San Diego's City Council. There are 9 candidates hoping to replace Tony Young in District 4. Today, they answered questions about public safety and economic development.
But we're really looking for a candidate who's going to stay true to making public safety a very high priority for the city of San Diego. I'm sure most of the citizens of San Diego are well aware that the police department has dramatic staffing issues. So we're looking for a candidate who has solutions that will work with us.
The District 4 special election takes place on March 26th. Most San Diegans are unaware that since 2010, whenever they get into their car and drive anywhere within the county, it's possible that their license plates will be scanned and mapped, and the information stored in a large law enforcement database. Peggy Pico finds out who's using all that data and why.
For the last couple of years, local police and sheriffs have scanned 36 million vehicle locations to average about 14 scans for every registered automobile in the county. John Campbell of San Diego City Beat joins me with details on his report about license plate readers. John, thanks for being here. I think a lot of people here would be surprised how many times their license plates were scanned. What was your experience? What did you find out about your very own car?
When I went to Sandag and asked for my own records, I was told that my car had been scanned about 24 times in the past year. So it's a little higher than the average for the average driver in the county. Yeah, it was a little surprising.
They're watching you, you know this. They're watching you. Describe what these scanners are like and basically how they work.
It's basically a sophisticated camera. It's designed to snap a picture of a license plate. It uses character recognition software to take the license plate data out of there, tags it with a GPS coordinate, and saves it into a database.
And who basically stores this database or monitors this database?
It's stored by a division of SANDAG, which is the San Diego Area Association of Governments.
And also, but the law enforcement as well, right? Sheriff's Department
yeah,
has their own.
The Sheriff's Department has their own parallel system. The agencies in the county that feed into SANDAG's system, all feed into a centralized database, and that's maintained by SANDAG. So
local police, sheriff, but also on a national level as well, right? FBI?
Federal agents have access to the database, the SANDAG database. Most of this data is collected by local agencies, though.
Okay, how long is this data kept? Because I know in your article you mentioned there's where the crux lies of some of the pros and cons of gathering and mapping this data.
Right. The SANDAG system keeps its data for a maximum of 2 years. The Sheriff's Department's parallel system holds on to their data for an indefinite period of time. Privacy advocates like ACLU, the Electronic Frontiers Foundation, they would like to see a shorter retention period. They don't want to get rid of LPR entirely. They just want to see that data be purged after a shorter period of time.
But the con to that is that actually you have a good example in your article of how you maybe don't want to get rid of it too soon because this can help capture criminals way down the line.
Right. Well, police agencies would say that it's hard to determine what data is going to be useful in the future for an investigation of something like murder, which it doesn't have a statute of limitations. So in the case of John Albert Gardner, it was more than 18 months after the data was captured that it actually proved useful in that investigation.
And helping. And then also you had mentioned that police are able to find witnesses to a crime crime, if your car was in the neighborhood, they can kind of track you down?
Sure, it can be used for all kinds of things, and finding witnesses is one of them.
How about if your car is stolen, you're an average driver and your car is stolen, can you go to Sandag or the police and say, hey, use this system and see who was in the neighborhood?
Well, I mean, if you reported your car stolen, there's a good chance that it would be added to what's called a hot list, and that is a real-time system that allows the police to flag wanted, stolen, vehicles that are otherwise being looked for. And so, yeah, it can certainly help to find stolen cars.
About how many scanners are, plate scanners are in the county, I should say, and how much do they cost?
There are about 56 scanners feeding into Sandag's system currently. They range in price, but up to $25,000. It sort of depends on the deal that's struck between the agency and the vendor. Is
there any data suggesting if these are kind of like the red light cameras I'm thinking of, is there any data with these scanners that they are cost effective?
Well, I mean, I guess that sort of depends on your point of view. I mean, I think the police would certainly say that this really helps the individual officers to do a lot more. So in that sense, sure, it could be worth it.
And does the ACLU want to do anything? Are they suing, or do they just, they really want to address the concern of this kind of automatic tracking in regards to privacy rights?
There is a nationwide effort underway by the ACLU to get more information about how local police departments use these systems. They haven't proposed any specific legislation on a federal level that I know of, but they're certainly looking at ways to strike a balance between law enforcement and privacy.
Right. There's the idea that if you're on a public street, you have no expectation of privacy, but then how far does that go, essentially?
Right. I mean, if the ACLU argues that when you have so many different scans, that you can really reconstruct a good deal of information about people's daily travels and their daily activities.
Whether they're at a church, whether they're at a rehab center, whether they're at a place maybe that, a political...
Sure, exactly. So. Where you travel certainly says a lot about who you are. So they're trying to find a way to mitigate that privacy threat.
Okay. Well, John Campbell with City Beat, enjoyed your story, and thanks so much for talking with us.
Thanks for having me.
Killing may be a function of war, but many troops come home feeling guilt and shame. Only recently have some clinicians honed in on what they call moral injuries. We have more from Sagar Magani of the Associated Press.
Timothy Kudo had no illusions about what would happen when he joined the Marines and went to Iraq and Afghanistan.
As an infantry officer, we were trained pretty extensively on how to take the fight to the enemy, and we were trained to kill and to order men to kill.
But after doing just that, there was no training for civilian life, where he walks the streets of New York feeling like a killer.
And then when we came back and we all went our separate ways, it was something that we never heard about again, and it's something that we were left by ourselves to think about, and that's a very difficult thing, I think.
It's what some experts, like retired Navy psychiatrist William Nash, call moral injury, the emotional wounds from having done or failed to stop something that violates deeply held values.
The aftermath of moral injury is shame, guilt, anger, and a feeling of, I can't trust myself anymore.
It's different from post-traumatic stress, which is fear-based, with flashbacks to terrifying, life-threatening combat events. Moral injuries affect the conscience. Kudo's remorse stems partly from an incident where Marines under his command killed a pair of Afghan teens they thought were insurgents.
But I can't forgive myself for it. I know that their families won't forgive me for it, and the people who can forgive me are dead, and nothing's going to change that either.
But Nash, who is in charge of Marine combat stress programs, says forgiveness is the key to dealing with a moral injury.
You can't unring the bell. You can't just whitewash it, pretend it didn't happen.
While the focus for years has been on PTSD treatment, Nash is hoping other researchers will start concentrating on troops with moral injuries and finding what he calls psychological first aid treatments to help ease their guilt. For those suffering now, what's left is to live with regret and simply try to move on. Sagar Magani, Associated Press, The Pentagon.
From the battlefield to the athletic field, hundreds of Marines from across the country are at Camp Pendleton this weekend for a chance to compete in the Warrior Games. Peggy Pico caught up with a few participants earlier this week.
The third annual Marine Corps Trials is underway. About 300 wounded Marines are competing, but only 50 will move on to represent the Marine Corps at the 2013 Warrior Games in Colorado this coming May. Here with an inside look at the games are my guest, Wounded Warrior Battalion West Coach Phil Bryant and fierce competitor Staff Sergeant Anthony Rios. Thank you both for being here. Anthony, you have more than 16 years with the Corps. How were you injured, and how many tours of duty did you see?
Well, I went to Iraq 3 times, and my last tour of duty was in Afghanistan. In May 2010, I was hit with an RPG. We were caught in an L-shaped ambush, and I was medevaced from there. Broke my femur, a little bit of concussion, from it, but able to recover.
You also received a Purple Heart. What was that for?
That was for being injured in a combat environment and during direct action with the enemy.
We're going to come back to talk about the kind of medal you want now, different kind of medal you're
Right.
going to be working for. But I want to get to you, Coach Phil. You're a former Marine Sergeant, and this is the 3rd year that you've coached, I understand,
Yes.
in these games. What events do you coach?
I coach the rifle and pistol portion. I assist the regiment coaches.
Okay, so specifically...
Specifically shooting. The shooting event, yes.
Okay, I want to show folks at home a look at the last year's trials. These are very competitive. There are 7 events in this year, right? Archery, shooting, basketball, volleyball, swimming, cycling, track and field. And as we mentioned, the top 50 trial winners will compete in the National Warrior Games to be held in Colorado.
Yes.
I want to ask you, Phil, who can compete in these games? What are the requirements?
The requirements are a wounded Marine. They don't have to be combat wounded or ill, or they can be wounded, ill, or injured. So the requirements are Marines that are not able to compete. Sorry.
No,
it's
they can be
they can be
physical
veterans,
or
physical, mental injuries, ill.
Right.
And they can also be allies and veterans, former Marines.
Okay, and they, as you mentioned, they can be active duty or veterans as well. Anthony, what events, talking about competing and getting a different kind of medal, are you going to be competing in this year?
I'll be competing in shooting, where Coach Phil, will be there with me. Seated volleyball and the disc throw for the track and field events.
And how did you train for those?
Honestly, through my recovery, just kind of. We have sports medicine just kind of get us ready for whatever's going to come our way. I had no clue what I was going to do, having the limitations that I do. And when they came about, I said, well, let me just try these 3 events.
And what are your limitations in, because you have a service dog that you brought with us. Tell us about your service dog and how he helps you.
Oh, my injury specifically, I got my femur broke when the RPG impacted. Didn't really heal correctly, so my medical stuff through my recovery helps me just be stabilized. As I was recovering, getting from the wheelchair to the crutch, they offered to train my own dog and to become a service dog, enabled me to actually use for stability.
And so Bugsy's Bugsy, right?
Bugsy, correct.
Bugsy is your actual dog that the military helped train for you?
Yes.
Oh, that's a fantastic program. We'll have to hear more about. How has this competition, training for this competition, looking forward to this competition, actually helped you physically, you talked about, but what about in other ways?
It actually helped my confidence. There was a point there where once you're on top of the world and I'm able to perform as a Marine, I'm, doing really well in the job I was doing, to taken down to being injured. It's something that's hard for someone to take in. And the competition just kind of shows me that, hey, in other ways, things I never thought I'd be good at, like a disc throw. Who throws the disc? Not someone like me. They've actually shown me, given me a different light and confidence.
Different areas to focus on as well. Phil, besides physical recovery, what benefits have you seen from the participants in these games over the last few years?
Well, the physical side is the main side, but the teamwork that they working with their fellow Marines that comes through, and then the mental and the spirit side, and then the families come in also and get to see that their warriors are still competing in these events. So it's a whole spectrum of benefits for these Marines.
Well, very comprehensive. We are out of time, so best of luck to you both, and I hope to see you in Colorado.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next News Hour, the automatic federal spending cuts take effect. Plus, Egypt's flagging economy and Shields and Brooks. That's Friday on the PBS News Hour.
In tonight's Public Square, feedback on San Diego Unified School District's quick decision to replace the outgoing superintendent with the principal from Central Elementary School. From our KPBS website, California Defender writes, SDUSD selected a replacement superintendent 1 day after Coba's retirement. This smells fishy, very fishy. Also from our website, a call for an investigation of the district school board. Good Educator wrote, vetting and selecting the best candidate is a serious responsibility which was completely abdicated here. Taxpayers should be outraged. You can join this conversation by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, or email us at publicsquare@kpbs.org. And if you've got an experience, a passion, or you're an expert in a particular field, we invite you to become a KPBS source for our news online, on TV, and on the radio. For details, go to kpbs.org/source.
The Nat just opened a new bug exhibit, and it may not be what you expect to find in a museum setting. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando takes us up close and personal with those creepy crawlers.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Hold a hissing cockroach in your hand. Behold the beast with 1,000 legs. Look in terror at the Goliath bird-eating tarantula. All this and more can be found at Dr. Entomo's Palace of Exotic Wonders. So enter if you dare.
It's got a circus sideshow feel to it, and it really emphasizes the wonders, the extremes of the entomological world of insects and spiders. Lots of exclamation points and, superlatives are used.
We are standing right here at the opening of the Dr. Entomo's Palace of Exotic Wonders. It's a circus sideshow themed educational entomological wonder.
In Dr. Entomo, there's also a section on, it's called a rogues gallery, and there's a lot of insects that have been accused of a crime, and it's up to you to figure out, based on the evidence, whether or not they're guilty.
Well, I have one of the inmates in our rogues gallery here. This inmate here awaiting trial is accused of injecting venom and murder.
There's nothing in the exhibit that I would say is deadly, but there's plenty of things that would hurt if they bit you or they stung you.
Their fangs are kind of like the size of sewing machine needles, and they do inject a little bit of venom, but its potency is not enough to really harm us.
Rose-haired tarantulas can actually make good pets. Dwayne Tolifsrud had one named Rosie for more than 2 decades. The exhibit also has a whip scorpion that brings back memories of a San Diego Zoo encounter for Tolifsrud.
First, I was terrified. I was like maybe 5 years old or so. And I said, that's awful. But then as I started getting to know it a little bit, the person said, here, you can get to know it and handle it a little bit. And all of a sudden, I fell in love. They don't sting. However, they're big defenses, and I love this. They can spray acetic acid out their butts.
That's something no kid can resist.
And so I was holding this thing that just moments before I had a horror of, and now it was like one of the most amazing things that I'd ever seen in my life. And that's kind of like what we would like to have people experience here with this exhibit.
At the opening of the exhibit last week, kids like Colin Farrar, who came dressed as a cockroach, were riveted.
Well, I'm seeing this one cockroach moving.
What we do here is that we try to dispel some of the myths and misconceptions that people have about insects and their kin, but in a way that's fun and colorful and very, very family friendly.
Tickles. I took delight in holding a millipede whose bristly legs tickled as it walked on my arm.
They have little pores on the side of their body that will leak out hydrogen cyanide, Well, some of them do. Some of them are other noxious compounds. It's really smelly. It tastes terrible. And here's one piece of advice: never, ever, ever lick a millipede.
Got it. I would also avoid picking up one of these when it's angry.
Oh, yeah, he's bad. That is a threat posture.
Safely behind glass, these emperor scorpions show off their skill at fluorescing under UV light.
The compound inside of the exoskeleton that causes them to fluoresce does break down over time. So if you find a very old scorpion, it's not going to fluoresce.
For me, it's that sense of wonder, because that's what makes my brain turn every day, is that that life is amazing. And I think this exhibit shows you that bug life in particular is really amazing, and it's really cool, and it really is filled with lots of exclamation points.
And that's the kind of punctuation you'll find a lot of at Dr. Antimo's Palace of Exotic Wonders. Beth Ecomondo, KPBS News.
There is also a lot of excitement at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, where they just received the first shipment of 500 butterfly pupae from Costa Rica. It's the preparation for next month's opening of the park's annual butterfly jungle. The pupa of various butterfly species will be watched over by animal care staff until they're ready to come out. Butterfly Jungle begins March 16th through April 17th. We had summer-like weather today, but another cool down is on the way. If you're planning a trip to the beach, you'll have sunshine tomorrow, but then clouds start to move in. The warm temperatures in the inland valleys will start dropping after tomorrow. The mountains will have temperatures in the 60s through the weekend, and it's going to be 80 and sunny out in the deserts. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us, and have a great evening.